ULD are the oil that lubricates the gears of the air cargo industry. And when this oil runs dry, the gears rather quickly seize up. The day-to-day task of managing adequate ULD lubrication around an airline system is extremely challenging and is made much harder when very significant quantities of ULD end up off airport at forwarders' facilities, with very often no clear traceability, leaving ULD managers well and truly in the dark. The Uld Care E-Ucr app and its support and administration platform is an initiative to move the whole process of recording the transfer of a ULD asset between parties from the outdated paper-based systems to a modern digital process that can bring all the stakeholders, the ULD owners, the forwarders, and the cargo terminals into the picture. The build-up and breakdown of off-airport ULD is an essential component of modern air cargo operations. But this should not be conducted at the expense of the owners of the ULD assets. In this video, we present the Uld Care E-Ucr app functions and its related administration and reporting function. Please enjoy the video. So here we can see on the screen the two components of the Uld Care E-Ucr app. On the right-hand side, connected through AnyDesk, is the screen view of the handheld Android device. On the left-hand side is the Uld Care mobile application support system. It's web-based and it's connected to this computer. This is all live. So the first job is to log in. For the purpose of this demonstration, we've set up two dummy systems or airlines. On the app, we have Uld Care 3, and on the mobile application support system, we have Uld Care 4. So now we need somebody from Uld Care 3 to log in. They're going to tap the Uld Care app, which is on the right-hand side of the screen near the bottom here, and they're going to enter an email. In this case, it is Fred at gmail.com, and Fred is going to enter his password. And we're going to sign in. And you can see we've successfully signed in. Now, before we go any further, let's check out Fred's details. So at the bottom right-hand corner, we have my details. We tap on this, and we can see that Fred is tied to a sub-organization, NYC Cargo. His name is Fred Smith, and if we tap this third one, we can see his signature, which is stored in the app. If we want to change the signature, we could clear it, and we can make a new signature. So there we have, and we can just see that, there we have Fred Smith. So now we're ready to start doing transactions, but let's first of all log in to the support system. So here we have the support system. Now we're logging in as ULD4, and we have our name, it's saved it, and we have to type the password in and log in. So now you can see four boxes. The top two are administrative functions for setting up users. The bottom two are for looking at transactions and performing a ULD search. Sub-organizations enables an organization, such as an airline, to set up sub-organizations, which could very well be stations around its network, and even further granularity, they might be different warehouses at any particular city. And then the mobile app users are the parties authorized to use the app at each of those particular locations. The app is tied to a particular location, so we then know where the transfers have taken place. So let's now start off by doing a transaction, and to do this we don't unfortunately have a ULD, so we're going to have to photograph off a piece of paper. First we need to see on the top we have an option: a single ULD, a pallet stack, a single container, or multiple containers. For this we'll do a single ULD, and we're going to do PMC 12345 UC. We do a picture looks good, and yes, it's come up, PMC 12345 UC. Next question, is it serviceable, damaged, or unserviceable? The default is serviceable, so you don't actually need to do anything, it's already selected, but of course if it was damaged or unserviceable, we would select one of the other two. So we will continue. It's a pallet, so let's give it a net, and let's give it, let's say 4 straps. Continue. Now we see a summary. PMC 12345 UC, serviceable, and it has a net and 4 straps. Under the images, it has the picture of the ID code. It doesn't have any other pictures because there's no point. But of course, if there was damage, we would want to take it, and you could easily take a picture. So now continue. So we're going to finalize the transfer. You need to decide, is Uld Care 3 accepting a unit or handing out a unit? Well, let's say it's an incoming transaction. In other words, Uld Care 3 is accepting a unit from Uld Care 4. Once we've selected that, we can do the sign off. Now we don't know who the party from Uld Care 4 is, so we need to get that information. And it is Uld Care 4. So we're going to start typing, and when we type a U and type an L, it's quickly filtered down to these. The first and last name of the party, let's say it's Jane Brown, and we need Jane to sign on the screen. Save. Now we're going to confirm, and the other party of course is Fred, so that's all stored in the system, and that comes up. Confirm, and the transaction is completed. So now if we want to see what this looks like, we can go into transactions in the admin system, and it takes a moment to load. And here we have the top one, and it's an outgoing transaction. So Uld Care 4 has handed over to Uld Care 3, and you can see here, we can see the details. Transfer point was NYC. Jane Brown was the receiving party, was the transferring party, sorry. The opposing party, who was the receiving party, was NYC Cargo, and the party was Fred Smith. Here we can see the PMC details, including the nets and straps, and we can view the pictures, we can see the signatories, and also a picture of the ID code. So we go back and back. So now we're going to do a next transaction, which this time we will do multiple containers. So again, we will use an ID code here. And yes, it's good. So now we have a choice. We can either say we're done, or we can do one more. So we'll hit the next container, and here we go, and done. And we will do one more. So we hit next again, and it's done well. And then we'll say we're done. We can have a remarks. All serviceable, and save the remark. We'll finalize the transfer. This time it's outgoing. So Uld Care 3, Fred, is going to transfer this to Uld Care 4. it has saved Uld Care 4 as that was the previous party. We could, of course, select a different party, but for the time being, we'll leave it the same. But let's say it's no longer Jane, but it's Sam Brown. And we need to collect Sam's signature. We can confirm. And there we go. And the transaction is on its way. So now, without further ado, let's do one involving a damaged ULD. So here we go. And this time we'll go back to a single ULD and we'll do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 again. Tick. Yes, he's good. This time he's damaged. So damaged description is missing corner. Continue. It's damaged, it hasn't got any equipment. Continue. Now this time we might want to take a picture of the damage. So we tap on the camera icon and here we have a picture of a damaged missing corner. So we will take the picture and it will show up. Maybe we want to take a second picture. So we could again take another picture. This time from a different angle. So now we've got 2 pictures of damage. We'll continue with the transfer and let's say this is outgoing. So the opposing party still, and let's say this is Smith. And confirm again, it's Fred Smith. So the transferring party is Fred Smith, the receiving party is Uld Care 4. Here we go. And this is now uploading that data. So now we can come back to the admin system and we will probably need to refresh the page. And it will just take a second for it to show up here. And here we go. So here's the multiple one we did. You can see here we transferred 3 PMCs, all serviceable, all located here. And we can go in here and we can view the pictures. Sam Brown did the transfer and we can see the pictures that were taken. So if we go back and back again, and then if we do the latest one, again, here's the damaged one. So we'll view the pictures, again, Fred Smith and James Smith. And here we've got the pictures of the damaged corners. So this is all very new stuff. So let's go back, and now we'll review one final functionality here, which is the ULD search. So this is where we can use the system to look for any particular ULD, and it will search the entire database. So here we're looking for PMC 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 UC, which we've lost, but we think it might be somewhere out there. It's doing a search of the entire, oh, here we have. So PMC 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 has undergone all these transfers. You can see the latest one, which was here, and this just happens to have been the damaged one. And you can see here exactly who was the last person to have this. So this is a very powerful function. It will enable owners of ULD who've lost track of them to use the system to see where they are. And they could even have taken part in a transaction on the other side of the world between two completely unrelated parties who just happened to be using that piece of equipment. And so that's the system as it stands. It's always being evolved. Almost weekly there are updates, but as of today, the 27th of March, this is the current state of play for both the app and the administration system. Thank you very much. In wrapping up this demonstration of the E-Ucr app and its associated administration platform, we would like to make a few points. The first is that the Uld function is too important to modern air cargo operations to be left to chance, and that to be relying on outdated pencil and paper recording of the transfer of these assets, which occurs in huge quantities every day of the year, is ancestor worship. The second is that we already have available technology in the form of handheld apps and APIs that make collecting and sharing this essential data a practical, cost-effective solution. The third is that the typical obstacles to change, cost and operational disruption, do not come into the equation here. There is no requirement for expensive infrastructure, and today's workforce are typically very comfortable with using smartphone apps. So what are we waiting for? Uld Care's view is the lack of accurate recording of Uld transfers is a problem that will only grow over time, and that the Uld Care E-Ucr app is a solution whose time is now.